One of Lil Jeff's closest friends begged him not to return to Chicago, insisting that he would be successful if he stayed away. Despite the warning, Lil Jeff, caught up in the allure of internet clout and trolling his rivals, went back. His mom even supported his lifestyle online, encouraging him to target his enemies, both dead and alive. But Jeff couldn't stop. He spiraled deeper into violence, becoming known as a master troll and even gaining a reputation similar to Julio Fulio and others like him. His relentless trolling eventually led him down the same dark path as King Von, and sadly, Lil Jeff's life ended in a similar way. When Lil Jeff was killed on June 8, 2024, it was a blow to the Chicago drill scene. His death sent shockwaves through the city. On his final day, he did what he loved best, promoting his music, showing off money, smoking, and of course, sliding on his enemies. His lifestyle was ultimately what led to his demise. It was a sad reality that friends, family, and fans had to face. Despite the chaos of his life, his death left a void in the streets, and the whole situation felt like the inevitable end to a violent cycle. The last known footage of Lil Jeff came from an Instagram story posted by rapper Vert. The post showed Jeff and a couple of friends hanging out at a gas station. In the photo, Jeff appeared distracted, unaware that this would be one of his last moments alive. The caption, "In the hood we good," now feels haunting. Hours later, the news broke that Lil Jeff had been killed, and the details were chilling. A report revealed that Jeff had been shot on the 6600 block of S. Rhodes Avenue at 5:14 p.m. His death, like many others in Chicago, was violent and senseless. CCTV footage from the scene showed Lil Jeff chasing a man in yellow shorts after spotting him near a car. As Jeff went after him, his homies started shooting at a gray car. What followed was chaotic and tragic. The shooters returned fire, and Lil Jeff was hit multiple times. The footage showed Jeff collapsing, and the shooters made sure he couldn't survive, emptying an entire magazine into him. His friends carried him away, but it was already too late. He was rushed to the hospital and was declared dead. Meanwhile, the man in yellow shorts survived. Reports later revealed that Lil Jeff had accumulated a dark reputation with 11 alleged murders. His violent actions mirrored those of King Von, another rapper whose death came under similar circumstances. Both were aggressive in their actions, and their deaths were captured on camera. It's an eerie reminder of how their lives ended in a cycle of violence that could have been avoided. But as tragic as it was, the cops weren't able to make an immediate arrest. A suspect, Trap City Rob, was arrested, but his charges were later downgraded. Eventually, the murder charges were dropped because they couldn't prove Rob had pulled the trigger, even though he was seen at the scene. Lil Jeff's death sparked reactions from all corners of the internet. His parents' reaction, however, shocked many. It was revealed that Jeff's mom had been proud of her son's involvement in the streets, even encouraging him to keep going. In one of their conversations, she expressed joy over how much noise her son was making, reinforcing his violent lifestyle. To some, this made it clear why Lil Jeff became the person he did. His father also showed a disturbing level of pride in his son's actions, even asking others to continue the violence in his name. The tributes to Lil Jeff from his homies were full of grief, but there was also a sense of inevitability. Many knew this would happen. Rico Reckless, another rapper, had tried to convince Jeff to leave Chicago, urging him to stay away from the violence. But Jeff chose to return, and like so many others in the city, he paid the ultimate price. Rico had made the same plea to other rappers like FBG Cash, who also lost his life because he stayed in Chicago, trapped in the cycle of violence. But while Jeff had friends who mourned him, others viewed him as a dangerous figure responsible for the deaths of many, including two teens, Robert Boston, Lil Rob and Montero Williams. They were ambushed and killed outside their school in broad daylight in January 2024. Lil Jeff mocked their deaths online, fueling the hatred and disrespect that ran rampant in the drill scene. His actions made him infamous, and his trolling only escalated the violence. Lil Jeff's story was not unique in the drill scene, and it mirrored the actions of other rappers who gained notoriety through their violent behavior. Like Julio Fulio from Jacksonville, who was notorious for disrespecting his dead enemies, Jeff's trolling made him both a hero to some and a villain to many others. The same cold disregard for human life was seen in Jeff's actions, where the death of one person meant nothing more than a tool for street credibility. The tragic deaths of Lil Jeff and his victims were only a few XR.